Hi friends, how are you all doing? Welcome, this is Etisham and today I'm lost in Madrid. I actually had a day off and I thought why not visit some beautiful place. So I'm going to visit the beautiful monastery of El Escorial. It's a World Heritage Site in the north of Madrid, a 16th century monastery located in the beautiful mountain area of Guadarrama. So it's a beautiful drive through the mountains and you see all the beautiful landscape. It's around 1 hour drive. You also have some public transport that brings you to El Escorial. There is a bus service from Madrid and there is a train station also. So within less than an hour from Madrid, you can come to El Escorial. So there on the right hand side, I can see the town of El Escorial. The monastery is the biggest construction, of course. Till the 18th century, there was only the monastery here. Then the kings of the new dynasty, the Bourbon dynasty, they started developing new areas around the monastery. As you approach the monastery, you will see the big dome that is more than 90 meters high. It is the dome of the basilica. And the king's quarter, where he lived during the last years of his life, was also next to the basilica. And just behind the king's quarter, you had the beautiful gardens. King Philip II loved greenery a lot, so that's why he ordered to make the gardens. So this is the entrance gate into the monastery. It is also managed by Patrimonio Nacional, the same department that manages the Royal Palace of Madrid. So once you get the ticket, you actually have to keep the ticket during your visit because they might ask you. There are several areas where you have to show the ticket, like the library and the palace area. Stop here in the main courtyard of the monastery known as El Patio de los Reyes, the courtyard of the kings. It's dedicated to the kings of Old Testament of Bible, whose sculptures can be seen there on top. So let's go to the Royal Library, La Biblioteca. One of the things that you cannot miss in the monastery of El Escorial is the Royal Library, which is considered the best library of the Renaissance period in Spain. It has beautiful paintings by the Italian painter Peregrino Tibaldi that shows the 7 liberal arts, the trivium and the quadrivium painted on the library ceiling. Apart from these beautiful paintings, you will also see a lot of very old and ancient books all around. Some are, of course, copies of the original ones that are kept in safe storage. And apart from the books, you have a very interesting collection of old instruments. So please take some time to come to the library. Don't miss it, because sometimes people, they just walk directly towards the monastery and they miss the library. You have to go up the stairs to see this beautiful library. It is also known as La Biblioteca Laurentina, named after Saint Lorenzo. That's the name of the monastery also. And also known as La Biblioteca Escorialense, named after El Escorial. So next stop is La Basilica, the church. The monastery of El Escorial is dedicated to San Lorenzo, Saint Lawrence, who is a martyr saint who was martyrized by being burnt on a grill. So that figure of San Lorenzo is omnipresent, is everywhere in the monastery. The main chapels and all the figures around, they show the grill that represent Saint Lawrence. So all around the basilica, you'll see beautiful chapels with paintings of different saints of the Catholic religion. At the time, the King of Spain, Philip II, he was participating in the Counter-Reformation that was a movement against the philosophy of the Protestants. So they were giving importance to all the saints of the Catholic religion. So there were painters like Alonso Sanchez Coello, Navarrete El Mudo, and of course El Greco was also given the chance to make a painting about the martyrdom of a saint. There is also a very special sculpture by the Italian sculptor Benvenuto Cellini of Jesus Christ in white marble. So after the basilica, I come to the inner cloister. Also very beautiful, decorated with paintings all around the cloister. And there is actually one painting painted on one of the domes that is really popular. This is a painting of the main staircase made by Luca Giordano, 17th century. The main staircase vault of the cloister has this painting by Luca Giordano that shows the glory of the Habsburgs dynasty. Kings of Habsburgs dynasty are shown surrounded by all the saints and the angels. Perhaps the most famous painting of the monastery is the painting by the painter El Greco, the Martyrdom of Saint Maurice. This painting was never displayed in the chapel where it was supposed to be put in the beginning because it was a very complex representation by the painter which the king didn't like. But ironically, this is the most popular painting now. And moving around the chapter house, you will see other beautiful paintings. There are paintings by Velázquez, Tiziano, and all the objects that are used in the liturgical process by the church. So after the chapter house, we visit Panteón de los Infantes. Infantes are the prince and princesses of the royal family who are buried here in the lower part of the monastery. One of the main purposes of making the monastery was to have a cemetery for the burial of the members of the royal family. So you have different graves all around. Here we have the tomb of Don Juan de Austria, half-brother of King Philip II, who was like the love child of Emperor Charles. The main part of the monastery is the Royal Pantheon. That's a burial chamber of the kings and queens of Spain, situated right under the main basilica of the monastery. So it's like a tunnel-like thing that goes down and down, staircase going down, and then you reach this circular chamber in which you have the graves of the kings and the queens of the Habsburgs and the Bourbon dynasty from 16th century onwards. So it's located right under the basilica. That's when the people who would pray in the basilica, their prayer would be like a prayer for the dead people under the basilica. So to tell you frankly, although it's very beautiful and very decorative, but I don't like the idea of being surrounded by all the dead people in all these tombs all around. There is even one room known as El Pudridero, like the rotting house. This is the gate to the Pudridero, where you still have the bodies of the former kings that are being mummified there before they're put in their respective tombs. So after the Royal Pantheon, you will come to the Habsburgs Palace area where the kings of Habsburg dynasty live. The main chamber is the chamber where King Philip II lived the last years of his lives, and he died there. Then you have a hall with the paintings of different countries that were under Spanish Empire at the time, and the scenes of different battles that were fought by the Spanish army and the Spanish Armada. And of course you see all different kinds of old kind of furniture. In one of the rooms you have the family tree of the Habsburgs kings, showing their lineage and showing how they are descendant of the different royal families of European countries. In one of the rooms you can see a wooden chair that was used by the kings to be carried around through the palace and the monastery area. He had gout and he had mobility issues. On one side you have the chamber of Isabella Clara Eugenia, King Philip II's daughter, who served him in the last years of his life, and after the death of the king she became the governess of the Netherlands. You have a portrait of the princess. She looked really beautiful in all this smart and elegant dress, and you can see the beautiful artifacts all around in the princess chambers. Paintings and some musical instruments are also there. So the next area is the Hall of the Battles, a huge hall that is painted with wall paintings showing the battle fought by the Spaniards during different eras. On one side you have 15th century battle during the reconquest between the Moors and the Christians. You even have the battle from 16th century of San Quintin between the French and the Spaniards. and the battle fought with Portugal over the controls of the islands in the Atlantic. So really you can study some like old military formations, and it was always a way to glorify and to tell the visitors how the Spaniards did so well in all their military campaigns. The last part is the Bourbon Palace area, which is from the 18th century onwards. So it has more French and Baroque influence, and it has a lot of beautiful tapestries and paintings all around. You can see the dining hall, the paintings showing the royal entourage, and all the festivals and the fiestas that the royals would enjoy. Earlier, it was not allowed to take pictures and record videos, but now the Patrimonio Nacional department is changing their policies. I think they know that the visitors are here to take some pictures and take a memory back home, so they have allowed to take pictures and record videos. So it was my chance to walk through all these palace areas and make this small video for you. Friend, this was my quick tour of the monastery of El Escorial. I've done it in like 1.5 hours. If you come and you want to see things in more detail, it will take around 2 or 3 hours. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do keep in touch. Please do share and like the video. Please do subscribe to the channel, and I'll try to bring you some more things in the next videos. So till then, hasta luego. Bye-bye.